Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today is actually November 17. It's a Sunday, and it's quite today's weather is quite bearable. It's a little warmer. A lot of smaller lakes in the Twin Cities has just started forming a little bit of ice, just a little bit. It's not technically there yet. Be safe out there. You're not even looking at probably 2 inches of ice yet. Maybe smaller ponds, but I doubt there would be fish in there. Maybe small ones, but it's still fun. But as far as up north, there is a little bit more ice up there. Be safe. Red Lake, I think, just had a big, huge crack over the week. Not safe. People were stranded. Be safe. All right. People had to be rescued on Red Lake, Upper Red Lake, today, over the week. But I'm gonna go over some of the things that I've accumulated over last season. So I put my stuff in totes primarily. In this tote, it's a lot easier if I do it and I put it in the sled. So in this tote, I have 2 units. So I have an Ice 35 by Humminbird, Ice 35, and I have a Vexilar FL12. I also bought a cheap eBay camera, which I hardly use because I run and gun. You know, it's a lot funner to do that. But yeah, you know, I have those 2 units. The reason why I bought 2 units is because I don't go fishing alone. I usually go fishing with either a buddy or I go fishing with my nephews. And oftentimes, if you have a Markham and a Vexilar, you get into a lot of frequency interferences. And these 2 units, the Vexilar FL12 and the Humminbird Ice 35, do not they do not interfere with one another. So you don't see a lot of marks around, you know, around the screen or whatever, you know. So like, for instance, right, you see this, and when you turn it on, you know, you turn it on, you'll see like the bottom depth right here, right? Or let's just say if it's at like 18 feet, it's up here, and you don't see a lot of like marks everywhere and whatnot. That's what interference is. And sometimes it gets annoying because you can't really tell where your lure is, or you can't really tell where your bait is. So that's why I bought these 2 units, because they don't really interfere with one another, which makes it great. Because we don't, you know, usually when you're fishing in an ice hub house and one person's fishing on the other side, you're fishing on one side, you want to have 2 units, because then they can detect each other's lures. Some people, they fish side by side and they can use 1 unit. They get away with 1 unit, but in my scenario, it's always best to have 2 just in case. Like my buddy, who always has a Markham, or he uses Vexilar. Then I resort to using my Humminbird Ice 35. And it works fine. I bought them used on Facebook, and both these units together cost me $800. A lot of people tell me that, hey, maybe you shouldn't buy used stuff. It depends. It varies. It worked out for me, so I don't think it's a problem. You know, most of these units go for cheap because people are either upgrading, or, you know, they bought extra units, and turns out that the people that used to go fishing with them don't go fishing with them anymore. So that's the first tote. The second one, if I can get this out of here, I'm gonna pause for a second here. Okay, so the second one, I have all my other stuff in here. So if you want to look, here we go. I have my ice scoopers here, fan here, you know, my fan. I also have these for your boots. Really good, really safe, it's useful. Obviously I got spare anchors for my hub houses, and I got propane tank in here. I also have batteries. I have batteries in here. I also have a drill and batteries. So this is very important, because you don't want to, makes it a lot easier to anchor down your ice hub house with this. So I have a spare drill in here with battery, and also this tool by Eskimo to actually drill down those anchors a lot easier and faster. So I don't have to do it by hand. and take a lot of time. So I have a lot of neat stuff in here. So this is my my accessories tote, and I'm gonna take you to go see my other stuff. Hold on just a second here. Okay, so we're gonna make our way over to my my sister's garage where I hoard all my stuff. I thank them for letting me use their garage, but you know, hopefully next year I can buy a house of my own and start doing some DIY projects and stuff. Can't do it because I live in an apartment, so it's kind of tough. But let's go into their garage. So I'm in the garage right now, and you see that right there, right there, or right there. That is my ice auger. So let me get it. This auger is a setup. It's a clamp plate with a Strikemaster laser, 8-inch auger. Turns out that auger likes to bite a lot when you're getting down towards the bottom of the ice. It tends to bite and chuck. That's why I recommend that if you're going to use this Strikemaster laser, it does cut nicer than the Mora, but it bites, so it's safe to have a clamp plate. You don't primarily want to use a drill. I like to use a drill. I'll go over my new setup. I actually bought an Eskimo pistol bit. Can't wait to try that one out. And it's an 8-inch. It's an 8-inch as well. But you know, I did take off my rigid octane off of that auger over there, and I hooked it up to my Eskimo pistol bit, which I plan on using this year. Bummer I didn't get it used last year, so I didn't get to use that all last year. That one's only been here for one season, so I only used it for one season. I'll use that one as a backup if anything. But I have a lot of junk in here, as you can see. But if anybody's going ice fishing, I recommend them getting a sled. Okay, that's how you haul all your stuff around on the lake. You gotta get a sled. Okay, my ice fishing houses are right here in these bags. They're non-thermal, primarily because I wanted to be a little bit lightweight. I want to be able to move around, be mobile. So that's why I don't use thermal. They are nicer, they are warmer, they're worth the money if you're gonna buy one. But you know, if you're running and gunning like I do, you're running out making Swiss cheese on the ice. You don't really have much time to pot this thing open. So that's why I only use. I only got these. They were cheap. I bought them off of Facebook for like $50. A lot of people, I would recommend you use Facebook. Lightly used stuff that people have on sale and whatnot. Price comparison between new and used and box office stores and even on Amazon. You know what? Do your research. Look around. Find better options, better deals. And that's what I do. You know, I accumulated this stuff over the years. I got a shovel right there. Helps with the slush and snow that I'm going to be taking out. I got some chairs right there. And that's only if I set up the hub house, which I might be doing if I go up to Red Lake area. And I can't seem to find my tackle box. But yeah, I have like 6 rods up in there. I don't like to tie baits because it's so cold out there, and especially if you're running and gunning. I like to use like 3 rods, maybe 4. I don't like to tie on baits too much. It takes too much time. So I'm about to go, like, I can't wait till the stores come up. I use different jigs and different stuff. I tie on different lures for my rods, and it's just different stuff. But other than that, I'm gonna go through this garage. I'm gonna go find some stuff, and yeah, that's some of the gear I use. I would recommend anybody going ice fishing to really think about it, because you're going to be hauling a lot of stuff. And that's my mom, by the way. But you're going to haul a lot of stuff. That's why I have it in totes, so they're not slipping, sliding everywhere around the sled. I hate that. I like to be organized a little bit. So sorry for the noise. My mom's making a lot of noise. But you know, that's the thing is that you want to have a sled so you can pull everything out there, and you want to keep everything in a relatively organized manner. I have provided propane tanks and stuff. So you're thinking about it, you're gonna be, if you're getting into ice fishing, you're gonna have a lot of gear. You're gonna have a lot of gear. You're gonna have to pull out there, and having a buddy with you is also good for safety measures as well. In case if you fall through the ice, they can help you out and probably get help and call for help. So it's good to have a buddy system. Other than that, you're hauling a lot of stuff, so do think about that. That's why I say, like, the number one thing that you should always invest. Living in a colder climate here, like Minnesota, get an ice fishing suit. You want to stay warm. You don't have to necessarily just use it for ice fishing. I have a Striker ice fishing suit, so I use that, and it keeps me warm, and that's a good investment. Another thing too is that obviously a sled is a good investment. I didn't put the things on it to make it slide better yet, primarily because I'm probably looking in the future, probably be looking into an ice house. I'm not too sure whether it's a flip over or a trailer. I do want to get an ATV. Does make it a lot easier to get out there to your spots faster, cover more ice, cover more ground. Geez, don't know really what else to say. So I'm gonna pause from the video for a second and wait until I load everything up. Alrighty, back to it. So that is pretty much how it looks like with everything loaded. I got my 2 totes right there, and obviously my ice house. So this is my tackle box. There's 6 rods in there. I'm gonna try to get you a better angle here. So there's 6 rods in here. It opens up. I have 6 rods in there. I like to use them. I don't use all of them, but I just hate tying on new lures, so I like to go through all 6 of them. They're all with spinning reels. I don't really like the other reels, the fly reels that come with ice fishing rods that they can use. I prefer spinning reels. It's a lot easier to use. The whole thing is that it's a lot easier. It's all based off preference, what everybody likes to use. I like to use spinning reels. I have 6 rods in here. They're all longer rods. I don't really like the short ones. They're stiff. Primarily, I like the custom noodle rods that I can get at Cabela's. Those are the rods that I mainly use. Other than that, like you can be frugal, buy cheaper rods. It's up to you. Preference is all that matters. All that it really comes down to. Still got to get more tackle. I think I got to go through my open water tackle because I took some lures out of here, so I got to put it back in there. So that's my tackle box. It is a little bit huge. I do want to downsize it, but I don't know. We'll see. Just clips that way. It's a cheap Eagle rod. You got my ice house right here. I gotta buy new straps. I lost where the strap is. So I normally hook the straps underneath here on my otter sled and go over on the other side and just hook it on both sides. And that's pretty much it. And obviously this stud bar can save your life. Very important to have a stud bar on early ice, primarily because you need to check how thick the ice is. So I'll give it a couple whacks, bam bam, and if the water comes up after a couple whacks, ice is too thin, backtrack and get off. I primarily like to fish between 4 inches of ice, but some people, maybe 2 inches is good enough for them. For me, I'm a big guy. 4 inches is what I prefer. Maybe 3. But other than that, this is my stuff, my gear. Not much. Not much. I got my 2 totes right here on the bottom, and you see how let me see here. There's still some space right here in the front of my sled that I haven't even used. So that's usually where my buddy heater comes in. I usually put my buddy heater in the front, like so. Like that. See? And everything fits onto one sled. You just got to strap it down, and then that's it. Haul it out there. And if you look at my car, my bibs are right there. I still have to go buy the coat. But other than that, like, you know, just maybe straps because I lost them. I don't know where they went. But yeah, that's all my gear. I'm probably going to get a little bit more. I'm not too sure, but that's what you guys are going to be on the journey with me for. So until then, prepare for ice fishing. Be safe out there, alright? So, this is Tony Vane with Chasing Outdoors, and I'm preparing for ice fishing season. What are you doing?